Hey.
It does.
We're just gonna keep it. We're keeping it. Okay. Oh, it's so hot in here. Okay. Sorry. Washington Summers. Let's do this. We'll have a gag reel. No, I won't. This is it. All right. So, for reals. Hi, it's Matt.
And Nakia.
And we wanted to take this time to share our story. I think it's a pretty good story. And Nikki doesn't like talking in front of people. So we were going to share this live, but
I don't want to.
No. So this is how we are going to do it. So sit back and relax.
We'll try to do a condensed version, I guess, of our story, because my husband is a storyteller, so he'll make it 30 minutes, but for the sake of everyone there, I will try to make it 7 to 10 minutes.
It's all about the dramatic retelling.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so Nakia, where did we meet?
We met at Grace Point Church. It would have been in 2016, probably. No, well,
2017.
It depends on. We met, but then there's when we met and when we actually talked to one another. So we probably met in 2016, but we didn't talk to one another until early 2017. Is that would you agree?
Yeah.
Okay.
What was your first impression of me?
What was your impression of me?
Hey, I'm asking questions. You can ask questions next.
Oh, I thought you were very cute.
Say it, girl.
Shut up.
I'm sorry.
Very cute and very shy.
Yeah, I am. That was one of the things that I really like about you, is that you were one of the few people that actually picked up on that. You know, even though I'm big and loud, I'm actually kind of shy.
Yeah, you're very, very shy and an introvert, I would say. So
Okay.
I'll ask you, what did you think when you first met me? I already know, I think.
What are you going to say?
No, go ahead.
I want to hear what you're going to say, because now I don't want to get it wrong.
You weren't thinking about me. He didn't care. I could tell you that.
How dare you?
It was nothing special for him.
Well, it was the meeting my future wife that's special.
Oh, and you knew that?
Yeah.
Right away? No, that's not true. And how do we exchange numbers?
You asked me for my phone number.
I asked him for his phone number.
And what were you saying in your head? You're like, I forget how you worded it. Something about tired waiting on you. What?
Okay, no. So when the first time I saw him, he did a sermon at Grace Point and I didn't realize he was the same guy that actually sat in front of me that I had been meeting. My sister pointed that out to me. So I thought he was super cute, but I thought this man had to be taken. Surely he must be taken. So although I wanted to talk to him, I didn't do it because I was just waiting for him to find out that he was with somebody. So probably from the time he did that sermon until we actually exchanged numbers and went on a date, it was a year. And I don't know, I just wasn't in a rush, and I was focused on being a mother. I was a brand new Christian at that. I had only been a Christian maybe 3 months before I accepted Christ in Vegas and then moved to Washington right after that. So there was just other stuff going on, but I just admired his cuteness from afar. So, and then when I got tired of waiting after we were crossing paths a lot between Costco and church, I just went up to him one day after church. And do you remember what I said?
You said something like, we should hang out sometime, or something like that.
We should hang out sometime. And I could tell you didn't really want to.
Well, I just embarrassed. I was just like, oh, so awkward. And, you know, awkwardness is my superpower, but it's also my kryptonite, so.
But I'm a Southern girl, and we know how to smile through all things.
And she was just like...
It's like, we should hang out sometime. And although I saw you were hesitant, I just smiled, and I just waited for you to say yes.
It was a good date. Do you think it was a good
was a good date. It was. We had except for what?
Well, I was just like, I hadn't been on a date for a while and kind of forgot some protocol.
I had not been on a date for a while.
Oh, man.
A very long time.
Oh.
And, but we had a good first date, and we dated, well,
3 months.
We dated for 6 months.
We dated for 3 months.
We dated for 6 months.
And then we broke up.
No. Oh, I thought we didn't break up.
No.
Oh, you just told on yourself.
This is okay. See what they do? They take your words and they
Okay,
twist
let me
them.
tell. We dated for 2 to 3 months the first time. And I thought things were going great. Weren't they going great?
They were good.
They were going really good. So here we are. I'm a 34-year-old woman dating this 36-year-old man. And I'm like, oh, we've been dating 2 to 3 months. I think it's fair that we talk about where things are going. That was my mistake. So we had this conversation about where things are going, to which Dr. Kuhn told me what?
It's over.
They weren't going anywhere. Those were his exact words. It's not going anywhere. And I told him I thought we got along really well. And I even felt that he might be someone that I could marry. And that just completely freaked him out. And he just pretty much told me this wasn't going anywhere. He wasn't interested. And I was pretty upset. And we didn't talk for about a month after that. And then I went to Alabama for a month, but before I left for Alabama, we reconnected and we were dating again. We were dating. It wasn't exclusive.
Okay.
And you know how I know we were dating?
How?
Because we went to Adam and Selena's 2017 costume party in October 2017 as what? How do we go there?
As dating.
Yeah, as dating. So we dated for a total of 6 months. But after the costume party, when I again brought up where this was going, Dr. Kuhn reminded me.
I wasn't a doctor yet. That's why I had to finish my PhD.
Oh, that wasn't.
That was my love, my first love is my academics.
That was not the reason. He reminded me that he was not interested and we were not dating. And after that second time, I was done with him.
Mm-hmm.
I say that as we're recording
She's
this
done.
video.
She's over. She's gone.
I was through with him.
Tell how we became roommates.
Well, when things ended, for real, I moved away and we didn't talk when I moved.
Not at all.
We didn't talk at all. Like I said, I was done with him. I was over it. I just wanted to figure out what state I was gonna move to next and kind of focus on that. I found myself in Quebec, right outside Montreal, as a nanny with my daughter. And I felt like I was missing something. At this point, I had been a Christian maybe probably 2 or 3 years at this point. And so I had been doing Bible studies online, and I ultimately, long story short, I realized that what I was missing was community. I'd always been a very independent person in all aspects. I had no problem doing things by myself. I just liked to be alone, going to the movies by myself, just hanging out with myself all the time. It sounds sad, but I just enjoyed it. And so it was hard for me to embrace community. And when I thought about where I felt the most at home, I realized that Kitsap was that place. And so when I told my sister that I thought I needed to move back to Kitsap. And that was also followed by dreams that told me to move back to Kitsap. My sister told me to pray about it, which I did. And when I prayed, I told the Lord if he wanted me to move back there, he would make it easy for me. Because if it wasn't going to be easy, I wasn't going to move back there. And while all this is happening simultaneously, Matt and I reconnected probably after about 7 months.
Yeah.
Maybe a little longer than that. And I told him that I was thinking of moving back. And he said, well, you should come rent my house. And I was like, wait, what?
Well, because I was getting ready to go to New Zealand and I wanted more money for my trip. And she was like, well, I need a place to stay. And I was like, oh, come rent my house and be gone for like 3 months. And I was like, that's a lot of money. And then she said, but I'm coming in November.
Mm-hmm.
and I wasn't leaving until January. I ended up not leaving till February.
Yeah.
So I was like, fine. I was like, you guys can sleep in my room, and I set up a hammock in here in the office and study, and I slept in here, and that's how that happened.
And I think what most people wonder is like the feelings. I guess they always look at it more from a woman's perspective, like, how did you feel? By the time I left and all of the time in between, I understood that nothing was going to happen between us, and I understood that we were just going to be friends. And I had made the decision that I really liked this man, and I liked being around him, and that he was a great man, and I was fine just being his friend, and that was the only way that I was able to live with him.
And I made that clear too. I was like, listen.
Oh, he definitely made it clear.
I was like, listen. I was like, we will never, ever, ever, ever.
So gentle with my feelings.
Ever get together.
I was like, he made it clear.
I was like, do not think that coming here, you're like, oh, what if? I was like, there's no what ifs. I'm going to New Zealand. I want more money. That's it. That's
all he wanted with me. And he made that clear as he continued to date.
Yeah.
And
well,
and go ahead.
Oh yeah, and then even too, I even you helping me get ready for my trip and stuff like that. And
I say I was his pepper. Like, what is that movie from? What movie?
Iron Man.
Iron Man. Yeah. I was basically his pepper. I was guiding him through all the girls he was dating. I was helping him.
It was helping too much.
Yeah.
Like, I would start dating a girl and she was like, all right, if this happens, do this, and this happens, do this. And it would like start going too fast. And then I'd be like, whoa, slow down a bit. Because then...
Sounds so familiar.
Shut up. My face is getting redder now. I can feel it. Yeah.
Well, you can turn the air on if you're getting too hot. So we were just living as roommates, and we did enjoy each other's company, and we had fun. But I would say for me, things changed, or my feelings resurfaced. I won't say your feelings resurfaced, because he never had any feelings for me, as he made very clear over the last 3 years. During COVID, when we were in the pandemic, we were all home together all the time. Once things started to open back up, I realized that I cared deeply for him, and I just was not comfortable living with him while he continued to date other people. And he had made it very clear that he was not interested in me, and so it wasn't even worth me bringing up. And I didn't talk about it much, although I know I shared a lot of myself with a lot of people, probably in this room, because it was just an awkward situation, and I'm a person that I digest my feelings first, then I share. I don't need to share to process through my feelings. I have to do it on my own. And so when I came to that conclusion, I realized I needed to move out. And so my sister was moving to Portland to start school, and I decided that Tylynn and I would go and live with her in Portland. And also I realized after living with Matt, we say, and I think we tell people, we prepared each other.
Yeah, really
for marriage.
And we were both at the time when she moved in, we were both kind of over like dating. We were just like, I'm done with this. And it was actually just the time I spent with Nikki and with Lynn, it really opened up my heart again, just the idea of that. And I mean, we both agreed that even after we were engaged, I remember we said, if we had not gotten engaged, we both think that we would have been engaged to somebody else within 6 months.
Yeah.
Because God had used each other to prepare our hearts for the issues that we had.
And I had a lot of issues to work through as well. So I think when people are looking from the outside and they look at especially as a single parent, they think she must want a man, desperately. But I really didn't.
No, she really didn't.
I really didn't. I was really happy being single.
She was like, what do you have to offer me? That's
because I just like to do what I like doing when I feel like doing it. And like I said, I'm an extremely independent person. And so the thought of having someone scared me, but roommating with Matt and then seeing, and also being in community and being around so many married couples. I shout out to people, Looters, the Crawfords,
Houstons.
the Atkins, the Houstons. I'm sorry if I missed anybody. Just being around so many married, so many families really also opened my heart. Oh, the Hunts, can't forget the Hunts. You know, they didn't realize it, but you guys were ministering to my heart just by me watching you, and that was opening my heart as well up to the possibility that I might want to be married. So,
Aww.
Was that nice?
That was good.
Oh.
I like that. So, tell people what happened when you told me you were moving out.
He didn't care. That's what I thought. He just was.
Oh my gosh.
If you don't know Matt, he's an incredibly expressive person, and so that's one of the things that I love about him. Stop. Oh my gosh. And then, but he was not expressive at all. He was just blank-faced, and he retreated to his room and hid for about a week after I told him.
More than that. It was a month.
I don't know how long it was. We were hanging out all the time during the pandemic. All the time in the living room, just hanging out, you know, kind of like this pseudo family. And then I told him I was moving out, and it was like he literally, this is what it felt like, but this is kind of what it was like. I said, I'm moving out, and he got up and walked to his room and closed the door, and I didn't see him again until we got engaged. And that's where he was every day, all day, after hanging out with us for months and months. So I just assumed that he was relieved, honestly, and he was back there planning a party or something for the day that we were going to leave. That's really what I thought. I was like, okay, this was the right move, because he's so happy he doesn't even want to show me how happy he is.
So no, what I was doing was I was basically reliving my life over and over in my head and seeing like all these different, you know, cycles and these different these different cycles and different patterns, things that I would do. And I just kept on reliving them and say, like, what point would I become stopped at and whatnot. And I had been, and I'll explain this more in my vows, but I had been thinking about the idea of me and Nikki for a few months. And at that point, I was like, this is it. It's either do or die. And so I just sat in my room and I was just meditating and praying for 4 hours a day at least, just you know, going through everything, being Matt, you know. And so then I finally I wanted to talk with some people. There's a couple people I wanted to talk to after I talked to the last person. I got home that night, went on Costco.com and bought a ring, and it was there 2 days later. And then, so then tell me what happened next.
So then he finally came out of his room. It was a Friday, and I wanted to go to Central Market to get something. And so he said, oh, why don't you get us a pizza? So he had gone from hanging out with us all the time to retreating in his room for anywhere from a week to a month, we don't agree, and saying we should all eat pizza together. So it was kind of strange, but anyone who knows Matt, you just go with the flow. you can, that's one thing I would tell him, like, whatever woman you are with, she cannot be a control freak, and she's got to be able to go with the flow, because yes, just for various reasons. And so I was just like, okay, fine. So I went to get the pizza. I came back. He was all red and sweaty and just looked frantic. And I just thought, okay, what has happened from the time I went to Central Market, got a pizza, and came back to the house? And so he told me, I'm going to go outside and I'm going to tell you when to come out, and come out. And I thought, again, not really thinking about it too much. It's Matt. So I thought, okay, fine. That I'll do that. So he texted me, which I thought was weird, to come outside. And I was supposed to go out the front door, but I'm not one for detail.
Okay, so this is what I said. I sent the text and I said, come out the back door. Okay. And
I went out The front door.
Okay, so tell people what you saw.
Well, all I saw was on the
gosh.
text message was.
Well, tell them about everything though, because I was like wearing like.
I got
Sorry,
it.
you got that. Sorry.
I just read the first part. You know, I had 2 sentences. I only read the first sentence that said "come out," and then it says the back door. I didn't read the back door, so I went out the front door because I kind of do what I want to do. and then when I came out, all I saw were the clothes that Matt was wearing when he came outside on the ground. So it's flip-flops, a t-shirt, and some shorts. And he was, I thought, had lost his mind. So,
tell me what you're saying. You're like, I don't know.
I don't know what he thinks is about to go down out here. I don't know why that's so funny. I mean, that's a realistic thought. You're without clothes.
Like very bold strategy, Cotton.
And so he was basically over in Sanctuary.
The prayer garden.
The prayer garden, yes. And so he's over in the prayer garden, hiding behind the trees, which further made me think that he was completely naked. I'm Southern, we say naked. And so he's like, come over here. And I was like, I'm not coming over there. And we did that for a few minutes. And then finally he just told me, trust me. I went over there and he was in a full suit with a tie and a Bible in his hand. And I thought, oh, is he about to rehearse a sermon for me? And so, so then he started, you can tell this part. You tell this part better.
Well, this is when I had like 3 different revelations of when I realized I loved Nikki. But one of the most significant times I realized I loved her was when I was reading the scriptures in 1 Corinthians 15. And it's the love chapter. And it talks about love is patient, love is kind, love believes all things, love hopes. And I remember just reading this list and I was like, this is Nikki. She's so encouraging. She believes, she hopes. She's so patient. She's so kind. And I was like, this is the epitome of a good woman. And so I read her that verse, that chapter, and I said, when I think about these words, I think about this is the type of woman that I want to marry. And so I grabbed the ring out of my pocket, got down on my knees, and asked her to marry me.
It was very shocking.
She was just looking at me like, are you serious? She was like angry. Are you serious?
I was a little annoyed. I mean, I'm sorry. Do we need to rewind? Okay, you have spent the past 3 years telling me you were not interested, that nothing was going to happen between us, that I just needed to let go. And then I did let go.
Girl.
Oh, stop. And then you're like, oh, will you marry me?
But I love you, girl.
So I guess one of the reasons it was easy for me to say yes is because, like I said, those feelings for me had resurfaced, which was why I was moving out to begin with.
And for me, they appeared.
Right. And for him, they appeared. So we never discussed it with each other because, again, he had told me he was not interested and it wasn't going to go anywhere. So there was no reason for me to, I had already opened up to him years before, and we had already had a discussion before I moved in, which would have been when, I don't know, 2018, the end of 2018, that, nothing was going to come of this. So that's where I was. And when that changed, I knew for myself, I had to leave. But I moved in and I never left. So you're stuck with me now.
Grifted
yeah,
right
I
here.
was right from the beginning. I was right in 2017 when I said, I think we would be good together and we could get married. Just say I was right.
No.
Just say you still can't say it. Just say I was right.
She cheated me.
I did not cheat you.
You grifted me.
The Lord worked it all out.
You made me love you. You made me fall in love with you.
He knew what we needed. He knew what we
needed each other.
Yeah, we needed each other. That's sweet.
So after her yelling at me, "Are you serious?" for a while, she said yes.
I said yes, and then now we've been married. Man, it's going quick.
Yeah. Well, and then what happened was we were trying to set everything up and dealing with the COVID. And again, I'll explain this a little bit more when I do my vows after this. But But yeah, it all.
You told me it wasn't going anywhere. Look
It
at
wasn't.
that.
So that's our story. I hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully we'll have a good rest of the night. And the only thing we require from you guys from this point on is we want everyone to dance to one song. That's it. So.
Because we like to dance.
Yeah. Even though I'm a white dancer, white boy. Boom, 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 boom.
You don't move.
I know.
Oh.
Keep pedaling. Keep pedaling. Lead!